Welcome to The Scope, where we go beyond the listings and dig deeper into real estate. I'm Elazio Roche.
I'm Nitin Kumar.
And today we're going to have Chris Wales, the division president of Blackburn Homes.
Chris is division president for last 9 years. I know him since 2011, been in real estate for 30 plus years.
Whether you're an investor or a realtor, this podcast is for you. You can get some great insight on becoming a developer or just getting your foot in the door in real estate.
Welcome to the show. So we have Chris Wales, division president of Blackburn. I met Chris in 2011, and that was the time actually I bought my first home in Austin. And Chris was director of sales at that time. So if you have seen a progress of a man, this is the man. Since how many years you have been a president?
Almost 9.
From a director of sales for a company which actually just started their first project in Austin?
First project in Austin in 2008.
First project in Austin in 2008 to become a president of the whole company. And I think the company is in 2 states?
Yes. Here in Mississippi.
How many decades you have been in real estate?
Wow, I first got my license in 96. Real estate license.
You
Not
were
his driver's license. Just real estate license.
Yeah, my real estate license in 1996.
1996.
We won't age you.
Oh, well, yeah, I was old then too, so you can know how old I am now.
Oh, that's great. So you have been in Austin since 1996? Or
Yeah, that's when, we moved here. I got my license pretty much right away. It might have been 97, but right in there.
Wow.
I've been in Texas since then as well.
It's a good place to be.
It is the best place to be. You know, I have come here in 2010 and I have no plans to move.
It's a great place for real estate. Great place to have a family. We love it.
It's a welcoming city. That is the best part which I see about Austin. Chris, we have some questions prepared for you. You know,
Okay.
and the main reason for these questions is, we want to know our viewers understand how real estate works actually. And basically this channel is more about information, right? How people can learn real estate and people can, understand it better. There is no agenda of selling homes. The more agenda is for people to understand, what happens during real estate process.
So I really wanted to ask you kind of what drew you to home building and development.
So as I mentioned, I've been in real estate as kind of a side venture on and off since 96, 97. And I met David Blackburn, who's the owner of the Blackburn Homes and Development. And we just really hit it off. We had a like vision. The company at the time was young, fledgling, struggling. I just saw an opportunity to be able to build something. My whole career, I've been enjoyed building companies, and this was just a great opportunity to do that.
When was it? Which year?
That was 2010.
2010. So basically, almost at that point, we're coming back from recession. You guys,
right? We were still pretty much in the financial crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Just starting to kind of see a little momentum. Austin was a little better off than everybody else, but it was still pretty slow back then. But it was a great place to start because it was all uphill there for a long time afterwards.
It is almost like 10 years of, more than 10, almost 12, 13 years of upstream.
Right. Every year, from 2010 until COVID started, every year was just a little bit better than the year before. It was really a great time.
And a few communities later, I mean, how many has it been in Austin?
Oh, geez. I want to give you an accurate number.
At least 6 that I can remember.
More than that. I think 8 or 9 self-developed communities.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Pretty
And
impressive.
you also participate in a lot of land development, right?
Yes. Right now we're developing more lots for other builders than we're actually building homes on. Mm-hmm. So that's been a little bit of a shift with the changes in the market that we've experienced since COVID, meteoric rise in home prices. There's been a little bit of a fall off in the market, and it's been a good opportunity for us to work on the development side.
So Chris, I have a follow-up on this, right? You have been partnering with a lot of real estate agents, vendors, and how does your experience and how do you plan for doing all that stuff? For example, I have been one of your favorite investor agents, I think. Hopefully.
The favorite.
The favorite.
The favorite. That's why I'm here. Well, I think it's really, from our perspective, an agent that really has their client's best interest at heart is who I want to deal with. If they're asking me for things that aren't really on the up and up or something, we don't want to deal with that agent. We want to deal with an agent that really has the best interest of the homeowners at heart, that are going to put them in a home that those folks are going to be happy with, not just who's giving the best incentive at the time. So if we can find an agent that has that agent's easy to work with because we're working towards the same goal.
And it's an agent that's really easy to work with.
I have been an agent 5 years, but the first community and just a disclaimer, my first home in US actually was a Blackburn home. I lived in their primary home for almost 9 years?
Preserve Mayfield Ranch, right?
Mayfield Ranch, yes. I was the third guy to buy in the community.
Yeah.
And after that, almost 22 of my friends bought there. And I was not a real estate agent. They were all my office colleagues, friends.
Yep, I remember.
And every weekend
you were like an assistant salesperson.
But she wasn't getting paid.
Free.
Yeah,
Right. A free assistant salesperson, which really are the best kind.
I used to be in that office every weekend, and people used to come in and negotiate, do all the stuff. And I was just thinking, what am I doing on the weekend every weekend?
I remember. I remember.
I would have sold more homes than anybody else.
You taught me a lot about buyer's perspective when buying a home. It's easy to forget when you're selling homes, especially hundreds and hundreds of them, what it's like to be a buyer or a first-time buyer, especially. You really gave me some good perspective on that back then.
I'm glad we have been working for almost 15 years, 14 years together. So that is great.
Yeah, it's been great. I heard you're number 1 in the country now.
I don't know myself.
For EXP?
They are doing
I saw
wrong.
that.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he was number 7, and then it came out and he's number 1.
I was like, wow, that's outstanding. Congratulations.
Thank you. But most of that has happened because of my team, actually, not because of me. Here is a team. One person.
We have more.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'm like, we can't do it ourselves. There's a lot more people in the background, behind the scenes. But I used to work for Blackburn Homes, so I'm familiar with Blackburn Homes, and I think that I've always been so proud to say that Blackburn Homes is just a phenomenal company to work with. They're a small family business, but they've definitely made a name for themselves here in the Austin market. And I always like to say, they're not entirely custom, but you were pretty much custom. We're almost right there. And so I want to know what you think of, how do you ensure that the team exceeds those expectations to the buyers?
Well, I think part of that is setting the expectations with the team and trying to make sure the team understands what the buyer is going to go through when they're coming in to buy a home. So to be able to maybe even bring up questions for the buyer that the buyer doesn't know that they should ask. Additionally, we pride ourselves in building homes that we would buy.
Yeah.
My son just bought a home from us.
Yeah.
The quality of materials that we use, from the headers over the doors to the zip, siding, just everything that we try and put in. I the last thing I ever want to have is someone go, "Oh, I bought a Blackburn home 10 years ago and I have all these problems, blah, blah, blah." I just personally don't want to see that or hear that. So we try and build homes like we would for ourselves. And if you do that, I think everyone's going to be pretty happy with the product.
See, I have a live example. I bought a Blackburn home. My brother.
You still have it?
No, I don't.
Oh. You made some money on that, though, didn't you?
I did. And my brother also lived in the same community. And when the cold 3 days happened here, a lot of communities where there were burst of, this, that. In that community, I was the HOA. I was on the HOA board for almost 8-9 years. So I know everybody, right? None of them had any issues. None of their, water tank broke or, pipes broke or anything.
Not a lot of builders can say that from
So-
the freeze.
And I honestly like Preserve at Mayfield Ranch is a community in Round Rock, and they all worked fine. My friends have homes. I have so many friends who still live there. So good
Well,
job.
that's great to hear. And that that's certainly a goal that we strive for. Like I said, we want to build a home that we would want to live in.
And I still own how many? Four of your homes, Blackburn Homes, 3 in Kyle, 1 in Georgetown. We just bought 4. I did. I own 4 of Blackburn Homes still. So I'm your loyal customer. Repeat buyer.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And between them and all your clients, you probably have bought the most of anyone.
Yes, that's true. Your quality is very good for somebody who is trying to build a family. Like the upgrades, the designs, and everything is very, very decent.
Yeah, the upgrades we call them personal customizations.
Oh, really?
So I think it's important to give people, a home is they're going to be the biggest purchase most people make. That's a cliche, but I think it's very true. You want it to be their home, not just the place they live, right? So you want to be able to, within reason, of course, do everything you can to make that home just what they want.
Yes. Chris, I think we talked about this topic a little bit, but maybe I'll go a little bit more deep. What has happened in last 2 years, especially if you look at after pandemic, land cost has become so much. The prices are, the market is pretty stable. Like it's like minus 1% number in last 2 years for prices or sales count in Austin, right? If you look at overall Austin, 2 years has been pretty stable in Austin. So how are you working it out for your buyers in this market so that you're still competitive with all the other builders, especially the big builders, right? They are like, there are 2 of them, you already know the name, right? How are you trying to be so competitive with them and still trying to build out the best product for your clients?
Well, so that's been a challenge. Incentives are the name of the game right now. Things that we had never done in the 16 years I've been there. We've been doing now the past year and a half, 2 years. We had the tremendous run up during COVID. You couldn't touch a house. There was waiting lists. It was kind of insane. And then rates went up and the market really fell off. So mortgage rate incentive, buying down mortgage rates for home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, is to be competitive in the marketplace, you have to do it. So we've been doing that. Taking care of closing costs is another thing that people really need right now. Affordability is a big issue in Austin for folks, especially first-time home buyers. It's a tremendous issue. While home prices have come down since COVID, home building costs have not.
It has gone up.
Aside from lumber, lumber has come down, but it's still far higher than it was before COVID. So the margins on all the builders have really, really shrunk. So it's a competitive marketplace. It's difficult. We have found that's why we've pivoted some. We sell off lots, which we've never done before, to other builders, because while there are lots in the marketplace, I would say there's not a surplus of lots in the marketplace, and home builders are really kind of scrambling to purchase lots so they can meet their build quotas. As you mentioned, land prices have not come down. Landowners are sticking to COVID numbers, and nothing works for us.
3 times, 4 times the prices, I think, which used to be in 2020, now people are expecting.
Right, and we can't, as a developer, one of the things you cannot make up for is making a mistake in purchasing land. If you pay too much for land, it's almost impossible to make a project work. Likewise, if you purchase land at a good price, it's hard to make it fail. But if you're going to be profitable in development or home building, you've got to get land at a reasonable price. And right now, there's not a lot of reasonable prices out there.
I have a theory, and I have not validated, but I've been asking this to very smart people, right? Couple of division presidents like you. And it is practically, I'm asking them a question. They are trying to build now projects which are like 45 minutes, 1 hour away from Austin in their subdivisions, like suburbs.
For affordability purposes.
But those are still not affordable. They are like 400K, 500K pricing on like communities like in Elgin, right? Which is like 45 minutes from downtown Austin, and it's a 400K home. And I'm asking them, why are you building this product here? You know, the general market here is around maybe 250 to 350, but you're building a 450 to 600K home here. What is the reason for building this? And the answer I'm getting is the land we purchased here, if we need to afford this to work for us, this is the product which has to fit in. We cannot build any other product on this anymore. So if I go with this thesis, for example, Round Rock land is gone.
Yeah, there's
Right? There's nothing. Cedar Park, Liberty Hill, almost Liberty Hill under 5 years will be gone. Pflugerville as well. Do you expect Austin eventually to become like one of the tech cities, other cities which are like expensive? Because here people are coming from tech.
Well, if I knew the answer to that question for sure, I wouldn't need to work anymore. I could just. I don't know if it's going to become like San Jose in that area, but certainly Texas has become a place where people want to move to. Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin. A lot of people want to live here. There's no state income tax. There's a lot of big companies that are here. There's a lot of jobs here. It's a great lifestyle. Yeah, I think when it snaps back, I think the market's going to be a little nutso again. I don't know when exactly that's going to be, but I think it's a good time to buy.
It is.
Isn't it always a good time to buy?
That is a theory that it is always a good time to buy. Certainly, there's better times to buy than others, though. The height of COVID probably wasn't the best time to buy.
But everyone did.
But everyone did. Well, yeah, you don't ever want to do what everyone else is doing, right?
I wanted to ask more on like Blackburn is very unique that it's one of the few builders that does commercial and residential. Can you talk a little bit about that? I think that's really interesting.
So Blackburn Group has at least three different divisions. Has a commercial side, which does everything from like a Chipotle to a Dollar General store, different things like that. It does, and then we have a multifamily side, which does apartment communities. In fact, we have a project on 1460 right now that's both apartments, commercial, and homes that we're looking to develop. It gives us a unique opportunity when we're looking to purchase land, if we can make it multi-purpose, and it will get through the cities that way. It gives us some purchasing power that maybe some other builders don't have. So it's been a really fortunate aspect. I give David all the credit on that. His foresight in that has done well for us.
Yeah, because those projects are doing well, especially in Leander and those suburbs where you are getting multi-purpose.
I think we've been very pleased for the most part with all our projects. We've never had a quote unquote unsuccessful project. Knock on wood somewhere.
Here.
So hopefully we'll keep our nose to the grindstone and make sure that keeps happening.
Chris, I think you have maybe how many? 1996 you said, right? Almost 30 years?
Almost 30.
Almost 30 years. Okay. So I know people who have been in real estate for all their life. They are not here. They are in India, and knock on the wood, I have seen their journey in life, right? They don't know what they have. They've come to that stage of life. And I met few of them like recently. But if somebody wants to start, right? Like I started in 2010. What do you suggest for those people? If I think real estate is the best passive investment.
On purchasing a home or on purchasing investment properties?
You want to build a real estate career, right? You want to build a career, you want to build a real estate, you want to retire, you want to build a secondary income. What do you want to call it, right? Everybody can have I started real estate as just a second job, right? I was doing this free for people for almost 9 years, going out with them, showing them houses. just as a friend. And then organically it become like I took a license, people said, hey, I need a home. Nobody was giving them a home. I used to call you and you gave the home. That's how I sold all these homes in pandemic. I didn't go anywhere. I had like 20 people like you who just put my people in front of everybody else.
Well, I think if you really want to make a career in real estate, I think it's important to do one of two things. Either find a mentor who's been in real estate for a long time and learn what they do well and what they don't do well. And through from contracts to marketing, there's a lot more to it. You just don't getting your license is the easiest part of real estate. Like really developing a business, that's a whole other thing. So find yourself a mentor or work for a home builder. You can learn a tremendous amount working for a home builder. Their contracts, how they market, different areas, what areas are good, what areas are not good, how do they pick sites, all that kind of thing. So I'd say one of those two things, if you really want to be a professional real estate person, that would be what I would do.
We have one more very important question for you. How can you become a land developer, right? Or builder?
Well, so there's an old adage that says developers don't retire, they either die or go broke.
Okay.
So you have to go in knowing that is not an easy thing to be a developer. There's a lot of downside risk. There's a tremendous amount of upside also, though. Number one, always, I think we mentioned this before, but you have to get in the land at the right price, right? So you cannot extend yourself on a land. It'll make the project very difficult to be successful. Two, you have to make sure that you never close on a property before you know all the utilities are in place. Before you have water and sewer and all that stuff worked out with the city, never close on a property. Some folks did that during COVID and they lost millions of dollars. Another thing is no matter how much money you think you need to raise double that.
Oh, really?
Yes, because there's been a lot of developers over the years that have gone broke, and then the people come in and make a fortune off of their misfortune.
Correct.
So you have to be able to withstand ups and downs in the marketplace. So always make sure that that's the case. And three, start off small. Don't start off big. Your return on investment, your ROI on a big project is very extended. You make all your money on the back end. So do a smaller project till you get your feet underneath you, and that way I think you have your best chance of being successful.
If anybody ever wants to reach out to you, right, to learn more on this, is there a way?
You can reach me at cwales@blackburnhomes.com. WALES.
That is great. That is great.
We're about to have our grand opening at the Heights at St. Gabriel on our cottage product on August 22nd. So if anyone wants to come by and look at some great homes,
yes,
that would be the time to do it. I look forward to seeing y'all there.
You don't have to wait till August. You can buy now.
You can buy now, but our grand opening is August 22nd.
Yes. And if you want to buy now, you can have my number and buy now.
Right. Call Nitin and he'll bring you over.
Nobody can get you the best house deal from Grace than me.
That's very true. That's very true.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. I hope people will have a lot of knowledge. They will go through this video. And as Chris said, you can reach back to him. He's an awesome guy, a lot of experience. And Blackburn is a great builder. I have been their client as well as realtor, investor. So I can vouch for it. Thank you. It was a great experience.
It was. Thanks for tuning into the show.
You can follow us on our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.